All right. Good morning, everybody. Tim Scoutless here, live from the back lot. It is Friday. Time for a little live from the back lot, my video podcast, episode 7. All right. Staying true to my word here on giving you guys a little bit more consistent content. See how it goes. See, I launched this thing on Facebook. Is it up yet? It's up there. Okay. Let's see. All right, so let's turn the music down a little bit. It's getting loud. We'll finish out with music. So this week's episode, NADA, my biggest takeaway, singular takeaway. I got one. Doesn't mean now though that while I was out there, I didn't get the good swag. Right, got the cool stuff. Got a nice cool shirt. Got a cool hat. Many of you, I'll blow this up for a second. When I posted this picture of the cups, I got a lot of calls. Hey man, send me a cup. I'm working on it, trying to get some more of those. If you see one show up at your doorstep, you made the list, you made the cut. But we got this. I got a nice new hat. It's cool. Henley's. I got pretty much dressed up there, but also got a chance to meet some good friends. So I hooked up with a lot of people that you see over the years, old and new. All right. It's my good buddy Jordan from Black Book. And then, super cool booth. I covered this in some episodes beforehand, but we had this really cool stage here. I'm sorry. This is actually the backside. We had this nice couch area where you could have meetings with with a nice big TV and relax. There we are with a good buddy, Jameson and Pam Patton from ACV and from Luther. We're just kind of relaxing the long day. And then there's a good picture of, the check-in desk, and we had a little bar back here. And all along the side here were our meeting rooms. So I posted 2 videos last week. One was a one-on-one interview with Dennis Carey. Check it out. I also posted a walk around of the booth and a little bit of our area. So if you want to see that, you can find those either on the Facebook channel or on the YouTube channel. So what was my biggest takeaway? Listen, here's what we were pushing. All right. Here's what you need to be drinking. Here's the Kool-Aid. All right. Here's a glass. Take it. If you are not considering, let me say this, you need to be considering the level of trust. I'm going to leave the level of trust there. Transparency is hard for a lot of car dealers that pill to swallow. Trust isn't, right? But you need to be raising the level of trust and transparency in your consumer acquisition strategy. So lots of conversations about, I need inventory. I need good inventory. I need the right inventory. Well, damn it. We know that inventory is not at the auction. Right? Seeing it all over the place. What you make on purchase cars is not what you're making on trades. Right? We've talked about that a bunch. And here's what I mean. I'm going to build a little bit of a case why dealers need to improve their level of trust and transparency in their consumer acquisition strategy. So during the 90s and early 2000s, it's likely you were seeing 55 to 60% of your retail deals, right, new and used, had a trade attached to them. That number kind of slid back in the 2000s, early 2000s. The NADA average today is 43%. So a little over 4 out of 10 deals now are going to have a trade attached to them. Let's sink that in. That's average. So that's the best of the worst, average. If you want to be better than average, right, you need to be 50% plus. And it likely comes down to this. What's going on? A couple things. I'm going to touch on 2 things here. Your online and in-store consumer acquisition strategy, process, numbers, evaluations, there's a huge disconnect, right? You got KBB, Trade Pending, AccuTrade, whatever widget you build to give a consumer a number, right, through your DR tool, how well do they match? And are they good? Like, are you giving the consumer a number that's going to close the deal? Or is your manager coming in on the backside and screwing it up? Or is their manager coming in on the front side and screwing it up? You need to create a clear and consistent process on your website and in the store that matches the needs and wants of the consumer. Here's why. We talked about, right? We talked about being down from the 50% range when it comes to percentage of your retail transactions with a trade, right? Getting better with the consumer. Here's why. Okay. It's likely that when a customer goes to your website, right, they're going to get a number. And whatever number that is, okay, let's face it, the customer is lying, right? They always say that their value is, or their car is in a better shape than it probably is. That's okay. We expect that. But you got to give a real number. So in this case, we'll give 8,200 for a Sequoia. Letting the customer know, though, hey, we get it. There are about 2% of the cars out there that are nicer than yours. The majority of cars, or 64% of your cars, are not as nice as yours, right? Because we know buyers are liars. Okay, so we're setting them up front. About a third of them are worse, right, or are below what people say. So they come in at around 7,200. But with the tools that we were discussing and sharing at the booth this weekend at NADA, right? You know, we hitting the customer at a fair number. Now that I'm going to try and get more information to you all about the numbers we present. Right? How do we get to this 8,200? I'm just tell you, it's the best number in the industry, hands down. Okay, and maybe we'll cover that in the next week. But so being open and transparent, and like we'll have this information. They did it online. Now we had a whole bunch of things like if they want to, you want to take pictures and stuff like that. We integrate with CRMs and it comes into Max, all sorts of stuff. But you got to be consistent and open and trustworthy. Here's why. I had to go back a little bit, but in April of 2022. Now we remember that was a good year for the car business. So these are probably a little bit inflated. CarMax doesn't even report these numbers anymore, but I'm going to just show you where the pain's coming from. They bought approximately 324,000 vehicles from consumers. That was a 69% increase. Guys, in 2022, right, they bought over 1.4 million vehicles. Let's just say that they're not doing 1.4 million anymore, that they're just doing 1 million cars a year from consumers. They're kicking your ass. And we all know that their numbers aren't that great. Okay? It's their process. It's that people trust them. And that's that when we see that, it comes time to your consumer to show up at your dealership to trade their vehicle in, they probably already sold it. CarMax, Carvana, the other dealers in your neighborhood doing a better job than you. This is what I learned at NADA, okay, guys? That if you want the right inventory, if you want the best inventory, if you want to sell more cars, you got to get it going with the customer. You got to build trust in that transaction. And the trade is a ton of friction. You got to take the friction out of it. So I know I talk about this a ton, but that was the biggest takeaway for us at NADA this year. It's what we covered. We talked about a whole bunch of tools and products and processes. You want to find out more, hit me up. Check out my 2 videos on the YouTube page or also on the Facebook page. I showed you. I did a walk around of the NADA booth. A great interview with my buddy Dennis Carey. Check it out there. Obviously, we've got the Facebook page, Live from the Back Lot, and Instagram. I'm trying to get that going as well. So it's as always, you can, sell them all because you can always buy more. We will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Check in.